Sana, Cody, Cyber Behike right here at the Taino Fun House. I hope everyone's well. It's not 10:30 yet Eastern Standard Time, but I'm just testing this out. If you cannot hear me, just say I can't hear you. Man, I'm just chilling right here. Um, and hope everyone's doing well. It's Friday night. Guess what? It's Friday the 13th. What's up with that? Friday the 13th. Woo! It's a good time, a scary time. Got my skull shirt on today. Well, I call it the ancestral shirt. It's a tunic, and I made not too long ago. But anything with skulls is the best because it reminds us of our ancestors. So, just want to take a moment right now to acknowledge all the Taino Fun House members. If you're a member, thank you so much. All you have to do is subscribe and hit that bell, and I'll bring you weekly free content on Taino culture. Why? Because we are still here. Very important. You might have little knowledge or you might have huge knowledge. Put that to the side. It's all about passion for the culture, okay? And what's culture all about? Before I go on to today's story on our Taino traditional history, it's very important that we stay true to traditions. And what does that mean? If anyone has any comments on that, we must remain true to the traditions of old, these Caribbean indigenous traditions. If you have an answer, put that down, or an idea or reflection. I have a whole bunch. I'll give you an opportunity to answer that. What's traditional Taino, and how do we keep this indigenous Caribbean spirit alive in our communities, in our families, in our own personal life? Very important. Always ask yourself these questions. You're gonna get a lot of people gonna tell you, "Hey man, you're too black to be Taino." "Oh man, you're too white." "Hey, you change colors 4 seasons. You must not be Taino." Then they look at the books and they go, "Hey, they were copper skin, slightly oblique, dark eyes, coarse hair, and these are all the things that the invaders wrote about us." Can we truly believe them? Take them for their word? All the horrible things they've done to us, our ancestors. Well, we got to put the brakes on these reflections, on these on research and stuff like that. Very important. Always double check. Remember, there's a lot of information on the internet about Taino culture, past, present, music, customs, religion, you name it. But it's very important to cipher through all that information, okay? Because information it's not true knowledge. It's part of the story, but not the whole story. And part of the gathering of the information, you're gonna get stuff that's not true. You're gonna get a lot of these stories that it just cover up guilt through the years from the church, Spanish, whatever. So do your research, man. Do your research, okay? Whatever I say, double check, fact check me. If you have any questions, hit me up, tainofunhouse@gmail.com. So important. Today I want to share a story that a lot of people don't know about. And it's straight out of our stories that Ramon Panay recorded in this book. And there's a book that you can download. I want to put the link. It's free from the United States Archives. It's called Columbus, Ramon Panay, and the Beginnings of American Anthropology. If you're serious about learning about our ancestral worldview and the stories they passed down to the to the invaders, yeah, that's where you start right there. The translation is very poor. It was written by Edward Gaylord Bourne. He was the professor of history in Yale University. And this book was written, hold on a second. I always forget the year. 1206. Bingo, 1206. Worcester Publishing, 1906. You can get it. Promise, after this live, I'm going to put the link on. When I first read this, because I read Ramon Panet's work, which was translated over and over, but when I read the original, this original translation from Edward, it was very hard to understand the grammar and all that. You'll know what I mean when you download it. But sometimes I compare it to modern books, and it's like, wait a minute, why didn't they say this? Why didn't they say that? This one you get like the raw translation. That's my opinion. Hold on a second. Let me go to chat. I'm gonna go right to chapter 15. Hold on a second. Okay. Sorry about the pause there. Don't want to lose the link. And this, yep, there it is. Chapter 15. Hold on a second. Wow, and I'm gonna stumble on some of the words because hey, how's your day? All right, man. Welcome, Patricia. All right, much love to you and respect. And G110T. Hey, my day's good, man. Thank you. And it's topping off right now with talking about Taino culture and you guys listening. That's great. You're watching. If you have any questions, just write it down, man. Don't be afraid. So this is chapter 15. Christopher Columbus, Ramon Panet, and the beginnings of American anthropology. I'll put the link below. 1906. Now, since it's Friday the 13th, I got my skull tunic on. Oh, let me see. Hey, Boricua, I know it's important to speak with elders in your family that may know about traditions. And many older folks in my family are Christian, though. To see my thing. Yeah, it's not safe. I'm telling you. Hey, Sophia, how you doing? GG. That's capital G, small G. Awesome. Thanks for being here. Yeah, light. You wrote something really incredible there. It's important to speak with the elders. That's a very traditional. You see it throughout indigenous peoples. The first time I went to Montana to meet the Crow Nation, to be honest, I was thinking Hollywood, man, And what I saw was my own family. I'm like, wait a minute, you guys do the same thing we do. Like, what? I remember in my first night when I had dinner with a family, it was at a church on the reservation, Crow Agency. It was fantastic. We were sharing food and stuff, and one guy wanted some salt, so he points like this, right at the salt. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on, that's some Taino sign language here. How they know about that, And there was some other stuff too that just blew me away. Even the way people were interacting, it reminded me of a super duper Puerto Rican gathering con los Boricuas, the family hanging out with the elders. It was elders, there were young people, there were ñoños, brats running all over the place. It was like, wait, what's up? What's up with this? I'm back in the hood, man. Then I realized for the first time our ancestral ways, our traditions is very much rooted in our everyday life, and we don't even know it, man, until we chill with some native people on the res, and you see, whoa, wait a minute. Unfortunately, there's another issue with alcoholism and drug addiction, and that's one thing that is prevalent in our islands as well. I call it the Columbus poisonous residue that he left behind. So let's go to chapter 15. That's another story. Chapter 15. I'm gonna try my best to read this and translate. The observances of these Indian Bohoti. And a lot of people, we say Behike or Bohike. That's the medicine person or woman. Let me see. Jasmine Lotus Thompson. Hey, Tao, what's up? And ¿cómo se llama? Yeah, so that's the Behike, the medicine person, So chapter 15 talks about the observances. Now this is what the Spanish wrote about our traditional worldview of the Behike. So hold on to your seats, right? Here we go, Friday the 13th, right? So they're observing how they practice medicine and how they teach the people and their cures. They are oftentimes themselves taken in. Hold on to that. All, or the majority of the people on the island of Española, what we call Quisqueya, Haiti, have many semis of all different kinds. Now, for all of you that don't know what a semi is, it could be spelled Zemi or Cemi. I promise in the future I'm going to dedicate a video, many videos and a live on Semiism or Semi. But the short answer is a sacred being that represents the sacred power that comes from the Creator, you know. So there's 12 main semis, 12 of them in the Taino worldview, traditional worldview. Isn't that interesting? I know there's 12 Orishas, right? Interesting. So ancient knowledge, you know, ancient cultures pass these knowledges down, the worldview of what is God. So basically, it's like a slice of the ultimate power, and that's a semi. So it could represent Atabe, the earth waters. It could represent childbirth, and you got Guabansesh, which represents the hurricane. These are semis, and in my opinion, they all is a slice powers from the power, which is kind of cool. God is multi, you know. God is multi-level or multi. It's just all these aspects of God all over nature. So our ancestors call them semi. So there were all different kinds of semis, and one has the bones of his father and his mother. Yo, put that in your notes, all right? One had the bones of his father and his mother and kindred and ancestors. So right now we're getting a little slice of the worldview of our ancestors. So whoever this Behike was, they're writing about, he had bones of his father, his mother, his kindred, and some ancestors. And there are other Behikes which are made, and I'm sorry, there are other semis made of stone or of wood. Woo! So a lot of these semis that the Behikes safeguarded with their lives were father, mother, kindred, and ancestors. So we're seeing right now an understanding that not only a semi is like this power of the winds, or the power of childbirth, or fire, but also human beings, man. Human beings can be a semi, which is that's very revolutionary when it comes to the ancient world. And our ancestors had a tremendous understanding of this. Oh, la Norbella, I believe Quisqueya, La Bella, awesome, man. So, oh, Norbella, perdona. So, yeah, so here's the thing. Fire. The power of fire, you know, the power of the plant world. You know, all these sacred beings, you know, these semis, and we're part of that. Okay? I want to explain that in other videos. Not everyone understands that or believes that. I'm going to present my case on that in the future. But many have them of both kinds. Some speak. Now, in this, very interesting. Some of the semis speak. And the others make things grow, which they eat. That's Yokahu he's talking about. Yokahu is the three-pointer semi, and the farmers will bury that under the yucca to help it grow. I promise in future shows I want to dedicate one video each to all the semis, man. So they're saying, you know, it helped with the crops, it helped with the rain, and the winds blow. Now I want you guys to hear this. Remember, the invaders wrote this. These simple-minded, ignorant people believe that these idols, or to speak more fittingly, these devils, do these things not having knowledge of our holy faith. So here's the clash. Medieval Catholic Church, they're seeing these semis, they're seeing these altars, and they're saying, what the hell is this? And the only concept they could understand was, this is the devil. This is the devil. Or devils or demons. So people that read this, it sometimes it turns their stomach. So he's referring to our ancestors as simple-minded, ignorant people that believe in these idols. But what do they believe? They believe that the fire has this power, that has this personality that they call Baraibama, or Guavansesh, or Atabe, Yokahu. They all had this personality. They all had a role to play to keep us alive. And guess what? We had a role too. And that's what's amazing. So he says we're ignorant, simple minded. Guess what? We were way ahead of the game. Okay. Hold on. So when one is ill, they bring the Behike to him as a physician. So now we're getting into some practices here. So someone got sick, they're going to get the Behike. The physician is obliged to abstain from food like the sick man himself. So we're talking about fasting. Very important. Traditional medicine people, they fast before healing ceremony. Majority. And there we go. We have that tradition, fasting. Write this in your note. That's right, Jasmine, fasting. Let me see. And then they play the part that they are sick. So now we have a dual kind of relationship. I'm your healer, you're the ill person, but now I'm getting sick. I'm acting like I'm sick. So there's like this unity. Dualism, two become one. Man, that's some deep thought. You can meditate on that for years. Okay, now he's saying they're going to explain what the Behike does. He must purge himself like the sick man. And to purge himself, he takes a certain powder called jojoba. Oh man, now we're getting into some deep level stuff. So he's purging, and we know through the sacred tools, what the museums call artifacts. They take it could be made out of bone or wood, and they make these beautiful designs. I promise to put these photos, and then you will put it down your throat, and then you purge. So whatever, if there's anything left in your stomach. Hey, hi Barney, the dinosaur. Hey, welcome, man. So if you have anything left in your stomach when you're testing, man, it's gone, man, with that purging. So once that's done, they're taking jojoba, and the jojoba is the sacred medicine. I won't get too much into jojoba now. That could take 800 videos, but basically it's a snuff that they will sniff. It'll go straight to their brain, and boom, they're in the spiritual realm. Because what happens, the chemical is DMT that's being activated, that naturally occurs in the pineal gland. And what happens is when you I won't say the word overdose, but when you take high dosages of DMT, it tricks your mind that you're dead. It tricks it. So right there, boom, DMT is activated. Now you're saying to yourself, oh, I'm dead. Well, your brain is dead. You're dead. So what happens when you die? The spirit leaves your body. So the Behike now is communing in the spiritual world. He's saying, okay, what plants do I need to cure this person? So their body's here on earth, but they're out there. They're out there. One day I'll give you some experiences that I had with the jojoba. But basically, we're looking at some traditional stuff here. So according to Pane, he becomes intoxicated, right? I like to say, hey, when your spirit leaves your body, I guess it does act intoxicated because it needs that soul, it needs your spirit, There's a dualism there. So when that's split, you're in the spirit realm. And then they start talking to the semi they're using. That's another level of the Behike and Kohova. You start communing with the semi, whatever sacred being that can, or power. I like to use the word power more. That can help you in the healing ceremony. The best. Cesar Medina from Borinquen. I want to give a shout out to him. He lives in San Lorenzo. I mean Espina. He was one of the last Behikes of Nahuaque, and he used his medicine's fire. He used to make these fire ceremonies, and then the wood that he would use, that smoke was medicinal, depending what illness you had, whatever. He would use certain woods. So that's the power by Brahma right there. So the Behike, when he talked to the Sami, he said, okay, you need fire in this ceremony, or you need plant medicine in this ceremony. So when the Behike comes back, this is what he writes. Okay, after he's talking to the Sami, they are informed how the sickness came upon him. So the Sami is going to tell the Behike why this person got sick. How did they get sick? How did they get sick? How the sickness came upon him. Now, chapter 16 is next. Now, this is a cool chapter. Check this out. Yeah, man, I love our culture too, Jasmine, and thanks for tuning in. This is what the Behike does. Chapter 16. When they go to visit a sick man or person, and before they set out from their cabins, they take some soot from the pots, or they pound charcoal from the fires, and they blacken their face to make the sick man believe what seems good to them as to his ailment. Wait, let me read that again. Wait, let me just pause right there. A glimpse, protocol, their face will be black. Okay? So we're looking at some deep tradition. So if everyone tells you, hey, how did it, what kind of face paint the traditional Behike used to use? Was it red? Was it black? Was it... Oh, it was black from the charcoal of the fire. Again, echoing the power of fire that is not totally... when the fire is extinguished, you think it's the fire no longer exists, it no longer has power. It continues to have power with the charcoal, the face paint. So he blackens the face. I want to say this real slow. It blackens the face to make the sick person believe what seems good to them as to his ailment. Man, I want you to write I want you guys to meditate on that. Okay. And then they take small little bones and a little flesh from an animal, and they wrap it all together in something so that it won't drop. Probably like a pouch or something, or maybe a gourd. They put it in their mouth. The sick man or the sick person, having been already purged with the powder. Think about this. The patient is given Kohova. So right now, we're seeing that Kohova, and it just wasn't used as a communication, but it was also used as healing. Wow. So the Behike puts these bones and flesh in his mouth. He gives a sick person Kohova. And then the physician then goes to a cabin, or we call a bohio, or a cane, of the sick person, and sits down, and all are silent. And if there are any children around, they put them out in order that they may not hinder the Behike in his duties. Now, this is kind of interesting. Get the brats out of the way, man. that's kind of interesting. This is deep level stuff because, hey cousin, what's up, man? ¿Qué pasa? Oh, Yarida, what's up, man? So I find that cool, man. That they kick the kids out, because they it's noisy. So this is some deep. Because 99% of the time of native ceremonies I go to, or they allow the kids to run around. But when it gets deep, you gotta get the kids out. So this is a deep ceremony right here. So So he has the flesh in his mouth. He has the bones in his little bones in his mouth. The Behike does. He gave the patient the cojoba. Now they're in the house. Um, they're all quiet. All the kids are gone, right? Now everyone's focusing what the Behike does. So, okay, so everyone, okay, according to Pane, then everyone is removed from the cabin or the bohio, except one or two principal men. So you're talking about probably some nitainos, some or maybe important people in the person's life. But principal men, they're like nitainos, you know, like sub chiefs probably. That's my interpretation of it. And thus, being alone, they take some herbs of. Now he spells it like this: gioia, gioia. Hold on a second. Yeah, they said it was a textual error. It was probably cajoba. So let's get back to that real fast. So there's a well, translation is done way after this, and you can read the more modern version of Pane. But thus being alone, they take the herbs of. So they're taking jojoba right now, and the herbs that were wrapped in a leaf of an onion, half a quarter long. Okay, so another herb was wrapped around a leaf of an onion, half quarter long. Hey, next time you buy that Whopper, man, tell them to put the onions in there, okay? It's Taino. Onions are Taino. So, or if you're a veggie, vegan, you can get the Impossible Burger, right? Make sure those onions are there. So, okay, so now they're taking the jojoba. Now, check this out. And one of the above mentioned way is what they all usually take. Yeah, it's the jojoba. Wow. You know, I forgot about this. It's been a while. But since Friday the 13th, I wanted to talk about this and the reason why. And then crumbling it, so they crumbled it with their hands and they make a paste of it. And then they put it in their mouths by night to make them vomit what they have eaten in order that it may not hurt them. And then they begin to sing the above mentioned song. So they're taking the cohoa, they're purging, excuse me, now they're going to sing a song. Whoa, kama, oh. No, I'm just guessing. Okay, so now they light a torch. Okay. And then they take the juice. Oh, man. A lighting of a torch, they take that juice. There's a lot of stuff going on here. What I'm thinking is the tobacco juice, because the jojoba is powder. Normally, when you take the jojoba beforehand, you have to take they call it jarape, which is the powder tobacco, very potent. I tell people all the time. Sometimes I see on Instagram, and I don't want to be a Taino police right now, but 1 gram of nicotine can kill you. 1 gram of nicotine, look it up. 1 gram of nicotine will kill you, and it's like maybe very small amount of that 1 gram of nicotine. So rape is pure. So make sure you get it from a credible person who knows what they're doing. And I know some people they buy it on the internet and they snuff it, you know. And it does help clear out your sinuses, and it helps activate the DMT with the jojoba. But I won't get too much into that. But this is what we're talking about now. Now they're waiting. Okay. So they light the torch, they take the juice. This done at the beginning and waiting somewhat for the Behike to rise and go towards the sick man who is seated in the middle of the cabin, or the bohio, in the middle. And has been said, and turns him around twice as he pleases. And then he stands before him and takes him by the legs, feeling his thighs and running his hands down his feet. Now it sounds like we're into a therapeutic massage kind of situation here that still exists to this day in the islands. The gente que soba, the massage and the bone setters, this is what I'm reading right now. And there's only a few people that know how to do it, and it's usually passed down from generation to generation. I think it's so on the massage people. So they go down the legs, thighs, down the feet, and then he draws him hard as if he wished to pull something off. Then he goes to the entrance of the bohio and closes the door and speaks, saying, all right, what is he going to say? Write this down. Be gone to the mountains or to the sea, and blowing like one who blows, I guess, into a reed, he turns around again and he puts his hands together, closes his mouth, and his hands shake as if he was very, very cold. And he blows out of the hand and then draws to his breath again like like one who is sucking the marrow from a bone. And he sucks the man on the neck, on the stomach, on the shoulders, on the jaws, on the breast, on the belly, and many other parts of the body. So there's a sucking going on. This is still done by many medicine men throughout the world. This sucking technique, amazing, man. We're getting into a glimpse. Hold on a second. Okay, this done, they begin to cough and to make faces as if they have eaten something bitter. Sometimes in Santeria también. Oh, wow, that's cool. Now, I know Santeria has some roots in the Taino, so I'm wondering if they're adopting this. So, hold on a second. And he spits into the hand and draws out what we mentioned, which we have put in the mouth. So whatever that flesh he put before the ceremony and the bones, he spits it out. Right? Yeah. Hold on a second. I lost my place again. I'm getting too hyped here, man. Okay, so he had put it in his mouth. It could be a stone, it could be a piece of meat, it could be a bone that he put in his mouth, and if it is anything edible, he says to the sick man, take notice, you have eaten something which has brought on this illness which you suffer from. So how I have taken out of your body what your semi had put in your body, because you did not say your prayers to him, or did not build him some temple, or give him something from your possessions. And then he gives the stone to the person and he says, keep it safe. And sometimes they are convinced that these stones are good and that they help women in labor. And they keep it very carefully wrapped in cotton in little baskets and give them to eat when they eat themselves, what they eat themselves. And they do the same to the semis which they have in their bohíos. Upon solemn days, sacred days, when they bring out much to eat, what do they give them? Fish, meat, cassava, and anything else. And they put everything in the bohío of the cane of the semis, that the idol may eat of it. Man, I can do a whole bunch of videos just on that right there. So you're looking at how our ancestors used to venerate these semis, these sacred powers, and you know, they will feed them food. Is anyone here in the now or in the future? You're writing in the comments. Who likes stones? Who finds a stone on the ground when you're in the park or you're in the forest, and it starts talking to you? Right? You feel that, like it's like a telepathy, and you start envisioning what you're gonna do with this stone, right? That's ancestral, man. It's in our blood. It's in our DNA. We're doing something that was done thousands of years, and we still do it without even knowing it. Isn't that amazing? No, think about that. The stone people. Before in other videos, I talk about Mako Kaed, right? Who turned into stone. Man, we have a relationship with these stone people. The plants that we use, the bones. So this now it's gonna get interesting. Now I want you to read chapter 16. This is very powerful. If you ever want to set up an altar in a Taino way, I'm giving you the clues right there from the tradition. Now the other bad part about it, maybe Pane was lying, but you can decipher what's Catholic and what's not, because Catholics will never feed their saints. Stones, crystals, pebbles, all that stuff. I'm telling you, has anyone ever been in a beach where there's a lot of stones on the ground and shells, and you're like going ballistic, right? You're like overstimulated because like, I wish I could take them all, right? Sometimes when I go to the dollar store, 99 cents, they have these packages of stones. I want to buy them all, man. More than anything, right? It's amazing, man. Put right in the comments what you think. Now check this out. The next day. Now this is the next day, so this makes sense. The Kohoba's done at night. Ceremonies. I always do my ceremonies at night. And then at the end, you wake up the next day. The next day, they take all this food for their own bohíos after the semi has eaten them. So whatever is left over, the people take the food. Oh, wait a minute. Shirley just said, that's me, 5th grade trip. We went camping and they took us to a beach where Indians used to be, and I grabbed 3 rocks to paint my face, and I had the urge to paint my face with these stones. There you go. There it is. You don't need a book to teach you. You're doing it naturally, man. That's that ancestral calling, you know? And I'm glad that you responded. Shirley, thanks for sharing. So then the next day, whatever little food is left over, they take it. Okay, now by name right now is getting sarcastic right here. Medieval sarcasm. DNA memory, that's right. That's right, cousin, DNA memory. So, everyone took the food, whatever left over. This is what Bane writes. Oh, wish I... And so may God help them if the Semi eats of that, or of anything else. That dead Semi being a dead thing, made of stone or wood. And this right now, we're at the heart of our intergenerational trauma or ancestral trauma. This is the heart of it. This is what the church saw our Semis as. Dead, stone, and wood. Dead, dead, dead. May God help them. There it is. This is the seed of the destruction. Well, let me take that back. The seed of their strategy to destroy our culture. Yeah. Let's say Christians do that with their holy bread. Yeah. So Pane, yeah, you're right, because they store the host. When the leftovers, they put it. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, man. See, but then, our ancestors had to pay the price. So you can imagine the day that they said, we no longer can have these semis. And they started burning all the wood semis. Okay? And the stone ones they threw in the ocean. They destroyed them. Or they put them up for auction. They used to have these public auctions with semis and stuff. And they would sell them. I don't know if anyone has seen a semi like a Baibrama. They have the big eyes, big hollow eyes. Well, in the ancient world, they used to be gold inlaid in it. So they were very valuable, these semis with the gold. I wonder why. But they used to have these auctions. Many of the Behikes were killed. All of them were killed. Some of the caciques for getting as many semis as possible and to hide them in the caves. In Borinquen, there was a cacique, Mabu. His sole purpose before he died was to take as many semis as possible and hide them in the caves. Fortunately, they found him. He got killed. Hey, you got one more story? One more chapter? This is the chapter that's gonna blow your mind away, if it hasn't already. Now I hint. Bane kind of hinted it before that the Behike will put the piece of meat and whisper, "Hey, this was your illness, and because you weren't faithful to your semi, this is why you got sick." Almost like a punishing kind of concept. We're gonna get into that in the future too. Okay, so check this out. Last chapter, I promise. Sacramental bread is called. Yeah, the sacrament, the host. When they have done what has been described, and still the sick man dies. Okay, this is getting deep now. So now the guy dies. The poor guy dies, or woman, right? If the dead man, well, they use man, or the dead person who has many relatives, or was a lord of a village, or lord of the village, talking about cacique, and can resist that said behike, which means physician, because those who have little power do not venture to contend with these physicians. He who wishes to do harm to him does this. So in the family, after the person dies, he who wishes to do harm to the behike does this. Now I'm always reflecting on this chapter because, like, really, the behike, if someone died, the behike will get his ass beat. Man, so it's getting gruesome now. Wanting to know if the sick man died because the fault of the physician or the behike, or whether he did not do what was prescribed, they take an herb called huello, creation stories, which has leaves like basil, thick and broad. They take that juice of this leaf, the juice. Think about that. They take the juice of this leaf and they cut the nails of the dead man, and they cut off his hair on his forehead, and they make powder of them between the two stones, which they mix with the juice. They're doing a concoction here. And they pour it into the dead man's mouth or his nose. And in so doing, they ask the dead man if the behike was the cause of his death, and if he had followed the regimen or the diet or the fast, right? Again, fast, very important, the fasting. So if this fast was not done, this is my interpretation, there's consequences to this. So there's a sense of protocols. The people are worried, man, the behike probably didn't follow certain protocols like fasting, Maybe that's why he died. And they ask the dead man several times until he speaks. So right here, the deceased person is speaking after taking that juice. And plainly as if he was alive or she was alive, so that he answers all that they ask of him or her, saying that the behike did not follow the regimen or was the cause of his death that time. So whoever this dead person was, they started speaking like a human, and they ratted out the behike. No, I'm just kidding. Well, they told, hey, he killed me. He didn't follow the diet. He didn't do what he needed to do, or she didn't do it. Hold on a second. Hold on. Wow, I knew it was gonna happen. Hold on a second. Oh man. Okay, ready? I'm sorry about that. Any questions? Any questions out there? I see some observers. Okay. So the dead person is telling the people, hey, the behike killed me. So when the people learn about this, they return to the grave from which they took him out, and they learn what happened. They take the dead person and they build a big fire. and light that, with which a charcoal burner makes charcoal. And when the wood becomes live coals, they place the body on the great fiery mass of fire and they cover it with the earth as the charcoal burners covers charcoals. I guess he's on top of the charcoal. And here they let it lie as long as they please. Damn, so they keeping the body being burned slowly with these charcoals. I'm trying to translate this old English here. And as he lies there, they ask him questions. So he's getting burned, his body, and they're asking him questions. And then the dead person replies that he knows nothing. And they keep asking him 10 times. 10, the number 10, very powerful number for our Taino people. And then he speaks no more. And they ask him if he is dead. But he does not speak more than 10 times. He doesn't go past 10. Secret number, the number 10. 10 fingers, 10 toes. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, there's one more chapter. Hope I'm not boring anyone, man, because I'm going back and forth. But this is like, this reading is really tough. This is why I want to motivate you guys to get the text, okay? So the Taino are the real origins of the zombie. See, there you go. That's cool because zombie originated in the Caribbean, Haiti. And this makes so much sense. You getting it? There it is. There it is. Just want to take a quick pause. I saw a 1950s video of a voodoo ceremony from Haiti. And it was done in a bohio, a traditional Taino bohio. There was a center pole, right? And on top of the pole, they put a tied gore with bones inside. So you got the bohio, or the cane, where they put the semis, the center pole, and then they had the gore on top. Straight out of the creation stories. Yeah, right? The Iguera, right? Let me see. Iguayolo. Oh, is that from the Haitian? Oh, Iguera, right? The Iguera. That's straight out of the creation story. It's Yaya putting the bones of his son, Yaya, into the gore, or his wife did it. You know, and then when you read this about the Behike, they had the altars, right? They gave food to the semis, and then they took the goho, and then they sang these songs, you know. And you see in the voodoo religion, you know, they sing these beautiful songs with the drums and so. Man, we're getting glimpses of our ancestral traditional ways right now that continue on to this day. So guess what? This is chapter 15, 16, 17. This is chapter 18. Last one. Now the relatives of the dead person, now they're pissed off. Because now they're saying, yo, that Behike killed our relative. Man, God forbid it was a cacique, right? So what happens is this is what Panay says. The relatives of the dead person get together someday and they wait for the Behike. So now they're being sneaky right now. They get together one day and they wait. And they beat him up with clubs. Yo, that's no joke, man. I got my little prop here. This is I love wiffle ball. I play wiffle ball. So they take clubs and they start beating up the cacique, the Behike. And they break his legs, his arms, and his head. So that they fairly bray him as an immortal. Damn, so it's like they're like he's in a pilon, you know? They're just crushing him in a pilon. And they leave them there in that condition, believing that they killed him. Well, normally, right? Damn, man. They busted his head open. They busted his arms, his legs. And they leave him. They just leave the Behike there thinking he's dead. And they say that by night, here's the night again. The night. Friday the 13th, right? That's why I picked this. So at night came many snakes. Write that down. Many snakes, all different kinds. And they start to lick the face and the whole body of the Behike. who has been left for dead. And as we said, so by name, right? Wait. Left for dead, as we said. Okay, so he was left for dead. Who remains there for 2 or 3 days. And while he stays there in that condition, they say that the bones of his legs and arms unite and they knit together, and he gets up and walks leisurely in the direction of his bohio. And those that see him, they ask him, saying, "Were you not dead?" See? It's legit in our bloodline. Oh, we gotta talk, Jasmine. Were you not dead? And he answers that the Semi came to him in the form of snakes. The Fulus are considered of a lot of singing and dancing too, and they use the drums. Yep, that's right. As well as the maracas. Absolutely correct. My theory is you're looking in the voodoo ceremony, you're looking at some heavy duty Taino and African influences meshed together. That's power right there. From 2 continents, amazing. So the Behike is telling people, haha, you guys thought you kicked my ass? Guess what? Yo, when he shows up back to the village, you can't kill a spirit, only the vessel. That's right. So then what happens is, that's right. So then the relative of the dead man, the dead person that got really enraged, according to Pane, greatly enraged. Seeing him alive, they grow desperate. And they try to lay hands on him to put him to death. Lay hands on him. Like. And if they get hold of him again, they gorge out his eyes and they crush his testicles. It's Mane's words, not mine. They crush his testicles. It makes sense. You want to destroy life, you destroy a man's testicles, right? Because they say that none of these can die no matter how much he is beaten if they do not take away his testicles. So if they get hold of him, again, that's the Behike, right? They gorge out the eyes and they crush the testicles because, this is it, because they say, I'm thinking the they is the, I joined at the wrong time. That's right. Friday 13, right? So so they say that none of these can die. None of these, I'm assuming these are the Behikes. None of these can die no matter how much he is beaten. Or they're talking about a Behike who's entranced through the Cohoba. There's a lot of interpretations here, or what people call zombies, right? Even Christians used to put coins on the eyes of the dead because the eyes are the window to the soul. This is the worldview of our ancestors. If you really want to hurt someone, destroy someone, take out their eyes, so you take out their sight, right? So since this Behike was a man, they took out his eyes. He can't see anymore. He probably can't see in the spirit world. And they took his testicles out. Jade and Ray is there's 12 semis, 12 major semis. I'm gonna review that. If you go to my earlier videos, a couple of years ago, I talk about some of those semis through song. But I promise to write it on the description once the live is over. Eyes to kill their spiritual vision, their lineage. Yes, that's nice. Very good observations there. Man, you can do a whole meditation on this chapter. Alright, let me go to the conclusion, alright? This poor Behike, man, he has no eyes, no testicles. They pretty much think that he's done. Okay. So when they now they're going back to the fire. How they learn what they want from him, they burn, and how they okay, so okay. Okay, I'm just reading over this. I'm sorry. When they uncover the fire, the smoke that comes from it rises till they lose sight of it, and it gives forth a shrill cry as it comes from the furnace. Something like that. Then turns down and enters the bohio of the Behike. And that very moment he falls sick. And if he did not, wait a minute, what am I reading? Hold on. Okay, so, man, I'm sorry, I got this. So he falls sick, the Behike. He did not follow the diet. He is covered with sores, and his whole body starts to peel. And thus, they have a sign that such a one did not observe the diet, and therefore the sick man died. So they're trying to gather all this evidence, man, to prove this Behike was not legit or just didn't do his job. So they try to kill him, as has been described in the case of the other. Geez, so this kind of chapter, the end of the chapter really doesn't make sense. It sounds like it's two stories in one. So this is the part they talk about Behike ceremony, and also this whole sense of if the Behike does wrong, he or she did not observe the fast, did not observe protocols. So you're talking about a Behike, spiritual healing duties that were no joke. Now here's the thing about stories and ancient stories. They're not historical facts, but it's connected to a tradition that that was handed down generation of Behikes, So we can do a whole thing on that on these stories. So what's that? I'm sorry. Meso with the Behike's intentions. With the snakes approaching him possibly reflect the Huacal, the Semi, or harsh tribulations and rough life or painful experiences that no one learns of. I'm telling you, we can go deep with this, man, because this is, especially if you're a person who is a healer. Oh, you were thinking out that way. Now, there's a famous photo of Yokahu Semi, and there's a snake wrapped around Yokahu. Now, in my readings, I'm not going to go much into it now, but in my readings, the snake represents the Earth Mother. Because the snake is the only one that doesn't have arms and legs. It needs the earth to move. So our ancestors saw snakes as the Earth Mother, aka Atabe. So, wow, man. So Jasmine, you might be onto it, Atabe. So here's the thing. This is my theory. The Earth Mother will bring us back to life. The Earth Mother gives us life. When we return back to her, we'll give life to plants, our nutrients, So there's that dualism there, life and death. But then there's life again. So nothing really dies. The Atabe circle, with the dot in the middle, it's a constant motion. Constant motion. And for me, that dot in the middle, if you flipped it this way, the circle, you got the pole, the center pole, right? Behikes traditionally will live in caves, right? We'll do their ceremonies in caves. When a cacique would be chosen by the elder women to be the chief of the village, they start them as children and they work with the Behike. The cacique will learn everything how to be a Behike first, and then the duties of a cacique will follow. So once he's an adult, he's ready. I don't know what age they considered adulthood. It could have been late teen years, but well, there you go. So the snake, very important. So if anyone's studying is doing medicine out there, the snake, so crucial, so crucial. Added in. I know in Orisha they have Santa Marta, I think in Santeria. In Dominican Republic they have the La Dominadora, you know, where she's holding the snake and stuff. There's snakes in a lot of these traditions, you know. What's our word for snake? I wish I knew. I'm really bad with the language. I'm so sorry. But hold on a second. Hold on. That's a good question. Hold on. I have, hold on a second. Snakes. Culebra. Culebra. Damn, I don't have the translation. If anyone has a word in your dialect that you practice, you can put it. Hugs the earth all day. That's right, the snake. No. Wow, look at that. Cool. Thank you for sharing that, Bambala. What do you do, Bambala? So awesome. I gotta look that up. I'll do a short video on it. But check this out. When we wear our necklaces, you know, we see these necklaces all over the Caribbean that were saved, you know. I always see necklaces as snakes, you know. I saw this man today, actually. He had a python around his neck. And you can see the snake makes like a circle, you know. So, snake is powerful. It's connected to the Earth Mother in a Taino way. She gives us life, always, even in death. So just think, I want you to reflect on that. Has the snake around him. Wow, look at that. Tambala. See this? You know, our ancient peoples, man, they were so connected to the earth. And this, tribes will tell you this, that the intergenerational trauma began when the snake was destroyed, man, from our lives, our Taino lives, when the snake was destroyed. That whole connection with the snake, which is Atabe, the Earth Mother, was severed, man. You know, and I know there's a lot of people. Oh, what's that saying? Udi is snake in Higuaya. Well, okay, interesting. You believe? I gotta do some research on that. One thing I love about Caribbean people that live on the island or were raised in the island, they have these Taino words that still exist, you know. And they it's a part of their vocabulary, especially the people that live in the mountains. I experienced that with Nawake. They have these words, so I know there's a word, man. I'll look it up for you guys. All right, that's a disadvantage sometimes of not studying language, Taino language, and I'm still learning English. Well, Lucayo, those are the people that went to Bahamas, and they were Taino. I know a lot of people like using the word Lucano instead of Taino, Lucayo, but that was our people. There was a tooth that was found a couple of years ago, and they did DNA samples on her. And most Borinqueños, people in Borinquen, Tainos in Borinquen, they match her. They match her tooth. So it's Taino, man. Mike, oh, that's your people, the Lucayo? We're the first ones that greeted Columbus. Can anyone tell me what role Two-Spirit people play in Taino society? This is from TY less than 33. Listen, it was very prevalent in the Taino culture, the Two-Spirit. Remember, our dualism, masculine, feminine, the dualism between fire and water and all that. You know, Two-Spirit people in the Taino tradition were welcome, were respected. How do we know that? The Spanish, they bragged. You know, I should do a video on this. The Spanish bragged about how many Two-Spirit people they can kill. So whenever they saw a Two-Spirit person, it could be a male dressed like a woman or a woman doing a man's job, slice their head right off their body, man. So I promise I'm gonna do a video on that. You know, hey, maybe next week. How about that? We'll talk about Two-Spirit next week, okay? I promise, because that's a very deep topic that needs to be talked about more. Oh, light. Thank you for sharing that. All right. Yeah, that's something that the Spanish, there's a lot of things I don't trust about them because I know they lied a lot. But when they bragged about killing men and women that look opposite gender, or maybe they were both gender, they were killed. Two spirit would call, bam, they were killed. I'm gonna get those. I'm gonna promise. I'm gonna do some research next week on that. Okay. So what's the takeaway today's live, man? It seems like this was serious business, man. It wasn't like, yeah, let me go into let me just research it on Google what herbs I can take. If you messed up or you weren't prepared, that's how I get it. If you weren't prepared, people not only didn't take you seriously, but I believe they didn't kill the baby because that's just like in the ancient peoples they'll exaggerate a story. But this was serious business, and what brings out to me is the fasting, jojoba, the juice, the whale juice, or tobacco juice. There was a lot of stuff that's in these 3 chapters that's amazing. But the best part about it was that they tried to kill the Behike no matter what, and he still came back. You know what I mean? And it seems like dead people had a relationship with living people, and talking elaborate ceremony of bringing the dead person back. Hey, does that sound familiar? Peritismo or Santeria, where you you commune with the dead, Woof, this is deep stuff, man. This is deep stuff. I love all my trans-binary ancestors. I just know they must have been beautiful. Yeah, man, I'm telling you, I just got goosebumps. Imagine okay, say you're a male gender-wise, and then you're working like a woman, or you dress like a woman, and they just come up and just chop your head off. That hate is still around. That hate is still around. I'm here wanting to learn about your Taino. I've always felt the spirit of the ancestors ever since I was little. Okay, here's the thing. In every culture I find believes this and practices it without even knowing it. Go back to nature. Go, even if it's a park. Throw some seeds down. Be connected to the plant world, to the stone world, the mineral world. So it's plants, minerals, right? Animal world, and the 4th world, human beings. We're sacred, man. We're part of the sacred 4. That's right. Love for our queer ancestors. Yeah, man. They gotta be honored, man. And there was a term for them that the Spanish used, and I forget. Not what. Man, I promise I'll bring it back to you guys. I don't want to misform you. Yeah, man. So for all of us, we all have to connect back to the earth, a special relationship with our mother. Also, the masculine energy that's around us, in the universe, the rain. I want to learn that term. Yes, I promise I'll get back to you guys next week. We're gonna dive into it. So, man, I'm telling you, man, it's powerful stuff. Get back to the earth. The snake people, it's the earth, man. That's the earth. Be like the snake. It's dependent on the earth. How can you depend on the earth to live? When I was a little girl, I was always felt calm and at peace, listening to the waters in Santo Domingo. Oh my God! I was just talking about that today with some people. A lot of people are having a hard time with financial situations with their credit, or maybe they lost their job. Or they're hustling hours to make that. Especially if you don't have an education, or those letters behind your name. People are working really hard. So I was talking to some people today about that. It says, well, I said, you know what? I don't want $1 million. I just want an opportunity to have a house by a beach, put my hammock up, drink some chinola pacha with some, maybe piña colada. Just listening to the waves, man, you know. And wow, man, that's there you go. There you go, man. It's you all have a dream, right? You all have these visions. Ask for a vision of what you can do. In a New York, I'm New York, but I've never been to Borinquen. Wow, we gotta take you down there, man. We gotta do that. I'm thinking about the next year. I'm planning to do a trip, like a guided tour trip. I've done it before twice, and it was phenomenal. I loved it. When you enjoy the island with others, man, that's the biggest rush. Thank you for sharing all this information. It means the world. No problem. TY, less than 33. Ahome Behike, this was a great live. Thank you. You're welcome. So, man, we went overtime here. I absolutely thank Wakristie, the Semi of heavy rains, for his tears of compassion for the plants throughout the nature, and for helping my garden. Excellent. What I'm going to do is I'm going to close this session calling the 12 semis in the Taino calling song. Isn't Taino a word for human? There you go, man. The noble people. The good people. It's good to be human, right? You're saying that you're speaking to me right now. I want to pay to say what? Because Medicaid doesn't pay to save your teeth, and I was so... Oh, man. If I can be of any help, let me know. Ancestral blessing to you, Behike. Thank you. What I'm going to do is I want to conclude this with the Taino calling song. If anyone has any water next to them, smudge yourself with the water as I prepare. Oh, wait a minute. It's here. Okay, it's all right. Okay, ready? If you know the song, you can sing with me. Okama means listen, listen. And then I'm mentioning the Semi's name. So I'm asking the Semi to listen, to listen. And then I say the word Taino Ti, which means God bless you. So I'm actually telling the Semis, thank you for coming and listening. So I'm throwing the energy back to them. Remember, it's a relationship, right? You receive, but you have to give. Give, receive. That circle, you know. And then at the end, I mentioned the Semis again. Okay. Wo kama, yokahu, bakwa marokoti. Wo kama, by Brahma. Oh, I just went blank. Oh. My Brahma Baragua Baen Okama Matiraurie Guayaba Okama Obie Guabian Corocote Okama Atabe Maharu sorry Maru boy na ye Okama Watauba Koa Christie Taino Tio, Taino Ti, Atabe, Yokau, Wama, Atabe, Suimako Mamuna, Yokau, Wama. All right, I'd like to thank you all again, and many blessings to you all, man. Stay strong, stay safe out there, and don't forget to give, because when you give, you receive. Beautiful. Have a great night, everyone. Blessings to you all. Thank you for taking your time. Good night. Much love. Peace out.